Invader Zim has always been a cartoon that deserved more episodes. Nickelodeon cancelled it early during season 2, which meant that not as many people would check it out. Luckily, in the years to come, this show would gain a cult following as people looked back and said, hey, this is pretty good stuff. Eventually, news came out that there would be a revival movie titled Enter the Florpus, and with the original creator on board, fans were hyped to finally see more Invader Zim after years of nothing. Feels like we've been waiting forever, but here we are. Enter the Florpus is finally on Netflix. I watched it, and now I'm here to tell you if it's amazing or awful. Keep in mind, this is my opinion though, so feel free to think anything else you want, I ain't gonna stop ya. Invader Zim Enter the Florpus is amazing. I mean, did you really expect anything else? When you have the original creator Jonan Vasquez, it's hard for this to be a failure or not feel like the classic Nicktoon. The story is pretty much what's been going on throughout the original series. Zim, an evil but hilariously incompetent alien, tries to take over the world. At the same time, most people are completely oblivious to his plans, aside from a mad scientist kid, Zim's nemesis Dib.
My name is Dib Membrane. I'm 12 years old, and I'm all that stands between Zim and the annihilation of our world.
It was obvious that Enter the Florpus would take this path of the two fighting again, because that's just how the show goes. But if you thought this was simply an extended episode without any real stakes, then you'd be completely wrong. Zim gets closer to his Earth takeover than ever before, and while I won't exactly go into detail on what happens, just know things get absolutely insane. But what makes Enter the Florpus so special? Well, from start to finish, it feels like Invader Zim. Keep in mind, the last time an episode aired on Nickelodeon was in the early to mid 2000s, so there's a huge gap of time where the crew just wasn't working on Zim stuff. That being said, they managed to make everything fit the world perfectly throughout the movie. It's honestly surprising because it feels like we never really left. Zim is still the same old Zim, with his constant screaming and outlandish plans. Dib, along with all the other characters driving the story, are identical to how they acted more than 15 years ago. Not only that, but the style and tone was as morbid as ever. It felt a bit tamer than some of the show's original episodes. Yikes. But that's not too much of a problem because this was still pretty dark. Something extra special about Enter the Florpus is that it actually involves some continuity from the original series. Now yeah, you wouldn't be entirely left out if you're a complete newcomer to the franchise, but I'm sure it would be more enjoyable if you've seen all the previous episodes. For example, Tax Ship plays a pretty big role in the movie, which was a plotline in the show that probably didn't go as far as the crew had wanted. When Invader Zim got cancelled during season 2, it was only obvious that the minor story arcs couldn't be completed and things wouldn't be satisfying, but this new Netflix movie is an amazing way to address those loose ends. I'm not gonna act like Enter the Florpus was a masterpiece though. Just to be fair, I may as well mention one of the pieces of criticism I have for the movie, and that's the pacing. It was mostly fine in the second half, but things felt like they were moving kinda slow during the first. Zim's evil plot wasn't progressing as fast as it could have. Still, this is a small complaint and one of the only problems I had with the movie. The rest of it was top notch and easily worth watching for Invader Zim fans everywhere. Enter the Florpus managed to prove something big with cartoon revivals, and it's that movies are almost always the better option instead of TV shows. If we take a look at Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling, just about everyone loved it, which is understandable since it involved the original creator and allowed viewers to briefly check in again with a familiar world. I'd say Enter the Florpus is exactly like that. Seeing Zim take over the world and battle Dib was fantastic, but if it were to continue in a full TV series, I don't know, those aren't often as promising. Don't get me wrong, if there was more from Jonan Vasquez and his crew for the Invader Zim TV show, I'd be mega hyped. Still, movies are a much safer option, especially with the awful history behind TV revivals. The world of cartoons today is very different than how it was in the early to mid 2000s, meaning that the show you once loved could end up not being the same at all, possibly due to a channel's current rules and just the way cable has changed since then. This new Invader Zim movie managed to conclusively finish the story that the show left behind, while at the same time leaving an opportunity for more to come. If you guys already had the chance of checking this out on Netflix, what'd you think of it? Would you say it was amazing or awful? Let's talk in the comments. But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.